my name is Chrissy Chlapecka, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
What's up, guys? Rob here from Live Entertainment. I'm hanging out with Chrissy, and today is such a huge day. My goodness.
Yeah.
Happy release day.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
What an incredible way to kind of kickstart this show. Girlie Pop EP is out now, the debut EP. Leading up to all of this, what was that week like as you were, getting ready for these tours that you're doing right now, these shows that you're doing right now, and the release of this EP?
I mean, gosh, it's been really intense, but of course super fun. We have been, getting ready for the tour, so it's been constant rehearsals, constant dancing, constant, warming up the voice.
Yeah.
But, it's all I love to do. Like, performance has always been the biggest part of my life, the thing I care the most about. And so it's just been a joy to spend, honestly, the past month before the release, just getting ready for a tour and, getting to share my music with the world.
Yeah.
Music has always been the most important thing to me, and having it out there and be perceived is a really great feeling.
Absolutely. And this EP is pretty much an anthem the entire way.
Yeah.
Leading when you first started working on it, did you know you were actively working on this EP, or was this one of those situations where you were just constantly writing and then next thing you know there's a body of work?
Yeah, it was definitely a constantly writing kind of situation.
Yeah.
I had just moved here almost exactly a year ago today.
Wow.
And I got in the studio.
Way to celebrate the anniversary.
Right? No, I know. I'm like, yay, 1 year. I just got here a year ago today, basically, and we just started writing. I wanted to try a bunch of different genres. I was trying 80s rock. I was doing Britney Spears stuff. I was, really venturing outside of my norm to kind of find what Girlie Pop was. And Girlie Pop was actually a song I wrote 2 years ago that, as we were okay, it's time to release a project. It's time to release an EP. What is it? What is it? I had seen Girlie Pop in my demos, and I was like, how cute would it be to create a subgenre called Girlie Pop of just the songs that represent me at this time in my career?
Yeah.
And that's really how it was born, on accident.
And 2 years ago, it says a lot about your songwriting as well. Just the fact that you can write or use something that is not necessarily old, but it's it was written a couple years ago and it still makes sense today. It's still a fresh sound. It's still a fresh take today.
Totally. Yeah, it was fun to be able to go back into it and add harmony layers and just other types of production that weren't there before, because our first version of it was pretty raw. So I was kind of this is something we're gonna need to work on, but I'm excited to dive into it because it really just defined the project at the end of the day.
Now, you mentioned that you went through this period of kind of trying to figure out what your sound was. As you did that, I'm sure every single genre that you kind of tackled changed the way that you would sing, or just the vocal ranges that you would have. How did that really impact you, and did you feel that it was a challenge every single time that you were trying to hit a different vocal range or a different tone?
Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting. So my background is musical theater, of course, and so changing my voice and creating different personas within the music and everything is kind of something I'm really used to doing.
Right.
I do think when I first entered pop, I was a little bit timid because I was like, oh, do I have to sound, do I have to do this Britney sound? Do I have to do this straight tone? And I'm very theatrical. My voice has a lot of vibrato. It has a lot of fun changes within it, which makes it interesting.
A lot of characters.
Lots of character. So I think there was a moment where I was like, oh, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can sing the way I wanted to. And then halfway through, I was like, wait, that's what makes me interesting as an artist. And I kind of brought that back within my music. And I think also the music coming eventually will definitely show off the vocals a lot more, which I'm very excited for.
I mean, you showed off the vocals on this EP, the 6 tracks. Everything is a little bit different every single time. What were some of the challenges that you felt you faced vocally during the process of recording these vocals?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it was just kind of picking and choosing, when do I want to have a straight pop tone? When do I want to add the elements of theater? And I think with this specific project, I really wanted, the straight pop tone, but adding little bits of character there just to kind of show that I have it, and to kind of allude to what would be next, where my voice will carry me, and where the sound and production even will, because within the production there's a lot of character and theatrics as well. I like to add a lot of strings to my music and just kind of crazy sounds. In the early 2000s, I feel that production was always so insane and crazy, and I really wanted
bringing
to
it back.
bring it back. I really want to bring it back.
So the fact that this is what you wanted for this EP, your sound, your music, you know, that's very important when you're choosing who that producer is going to be, who you're going to bring on board. What was it about this producer that you felt was the right fit for Girlie Pop?
Oh my gosh. I mean, first of all, Dallas is an incredible producer.
Yeah.
I fully trust him with my music journey, like 100%, and as a best friend as well. We actually wrote my first ever song together, and it was I'm So Hot, which is, you know, my most successful song as of now.
So that evolution now must have been insane.
Oh my God, yeah. And I think, you know, walking in the studio with him and also my co-writer Alex, who wrote all of the songs with me on this project as well, just, it was immediate comfort. Immediately I felt like they understood me as an artist, where, you know, I think it's valid to have to sometimes explain yourself to other people, but I just felt like they got it. And what I wanted to do with this project, they understood immediately and added the things that my voice vibrating right now is crazy.
The characters, I'm telling you.
The characters from the bass. I was like, just felt that. Sorry, it distracted me. But they added, you know, bits of themselves in it as well, which was, you know, very exciting and really like puzzle pieced this version of Chrissy together with, you know, their character and mine, and now it's like the perfect project to me.
And at the same time, having that level of comfortability with everyone in the room, I feel like it makes it easier for you to even open up on your topics, on the storylines that you want to talk about. How did like that aspect of vulnerability play a role now that you had this like comfort zone in the studio?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, every day I feel like we open up the session with just like, how are you? Like, what's going on? And
you got to check in with each other, right?
Yeah. I mean, how do you make art without like being emotionally there and emotionally like vulnerable with people? I think like, you know, that was how I've been, you know, doing my art forever. Like so much of it with theater was like putting my emotions and my personal self into characters and stuff like that. And so like, how do I put myself into the Chrissy that's, I mean, I'm her, but like the extreme version of her, and how do I connect with the people that I'm with as well and get them to understand her too, and so, and understand them. I mean, it's just as important, because also how are you going to walk into a session maybe having a bad day, faking it? Like, I just don't think I could make a good piece of art that day if I was holding back. And so it's really nice to just like every day be like, how are you doing? And it's like an hour and a half of us chatting, and then we're like, oh, should we write a song?
We have to work.
Right, but it's amazing. I mean, that's like the best part of it, you know, just connecting. Like, I think true art is made with community and connection, and I'm really grateful to have such a solid core.
On top of it, you also got to collaborate with Jesse St. John for one of the songs. What was that experience like for you? And like, have you worked with Jesse before, and how do you feel that that kind of impacted the way that you write now?
Yeah, oh my gosh. I mean, he is an incredible writer. I had worked with him once before. We had written verse, and we wrote a really, really fierce song, and I was like, okay, we should get in with him again. This is great. And ever since like then and before, like he's just an incredible writer in the way that I'm very scatterbrained. I'm very out there. I'm very like, let's say this and do this and write this and let's put this in. And he's very like, so let's take it back a little bit. And I think you sometimes need people like that. Literally. Well, sometimes you need people like that in the room who are like, how do we like confine this? How do we like, you know, almost make this legible in a way? And I think there's fun art in maximalism, like I do it. And I think in the way that he creates his art and he writes, it's very grounding. It's a really nice way to come back down to earth and be like, okay, like what am I writing about? And so it's been a really great journey, and like working with him since has been phenomenal. He's extremely kind and like really absolutely, I think, gets the Chrissy vibe too, which is very important to me as well.
I feel like that Chrissy vibe is more of an experience now that you get to witness Girlie Pop. I feel like it's definitely an experience, and you know, the live show is obviously going to be that. When it comes to the recording process or even the writing process of these 6 tracks, where do you feel that which song do you feel that challenged you the most, and why?
Ooh, in the writing process?
In the writing or recording process?
Writing or recording? Oh, that's a really great question. I think Emergency might have been the most interesting writing process for me. I think that just kind of stemmed from the fact we were like, what is this song about? And it's not that it doesn't necessarily have a meaning. It just kind of was like, this song is meant to be pure fun and pure joy. And how do we show that off within this song? And that's kind of where just like, that girl wants to be one of the bad girls. It's like, what the hell does that even mean?
What does that mean?
But sometimes I don't think you need to know what your music means.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's just like, if it's fun, put it out there. If it makes you feel good, put it out there. And I think Girlie Pop definitely like has a lot of fun songs. It's bright, it's exciting, but it has inner meaning, of course, to me. But I'm also completely comfortable with this project, with people hearing it and being like, that was fun. And if like it's fun for them, then I did my job.
Exactly. But at the same time, like going back to Emergency, like you say like you don't know what that means, but how do you know when the song is done when you're in that situation?
Ooh, I feel like when it just feels right. Like I think it's really just for me, just like
you just have to trust the process.
My senses. Yeah, I think there's many demos I've made where I'm like, I don't know, like I don't know if this feels right. I don't know if I went back in, it would feel right either.
Yeah.
But with some of them, I'm like, oh no, this is exactly right. Even if it's not 100% there, it's really just like, to me, committing to the gut feeling that says like, no, this is good, this is right. And especially with Emergency too, that was actually a song my team, everyone wasn't necessarily like, don't put it out, but they were like, are you sure?
We're not feeling it.
Are you sure, Christy? And I was like, no. Like I feel something. There's something there with this. Like it's goofy and fun and like very like early 2000s, but like there's something fun about this, something exciting. And now it's like one of my fans' favorite tracks from my EP, which feels good to me.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Now going back to working with Dallas, how do you feel that he challenged you vocally on any one of the songs, and what was it that allowed you to be able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think vocally I have complete control with that. I think it's really fun. Alex and I, like my co-writer, writing a lot of these melodies and just kind of going really crazy and out there with it. And when I track with Dallas, a lot of it, he's just like, go, like, do your thing. I know you can sing. I know you can make it work. We try a lot of character voices. We see what fits the track. And then after that, I go into the studio again and I add all the ad libs. I add all the harmony layers, the stacks, just like anything to make it bigger. But I'm kind of like, Dallas, shut up and like don't say anything, and I'm gonna go in.
Just let me do my thing.
Just let me do it, because I mean my background, of course, in musical theater was also with like jazz vocals and stuff, so I have a really good ear for all of that. And I want all of those parts to be so Chrissy that like in all of my tracks, like those beautiful stacks, those layers, those little bits of harmony and melody there is like truly just coming from like what feels right for me.
When it comes to your background in musical theater, how did you feel that you incorporated it on this EP in particular? Oh,
I think probably Girlie Pop, the title track shows it just the best for me. I think the production there is extremely theatrical. It already starts with the strings warming up, going into the song, and I really just like wanted to like kind of pay homage to like my younger self who, stayed in a room all day and sang all of these like Broadway songs. And
who would have thought that this would be you today, right? Like,
oh my God, if younger me could see this, she'd be like, who is that?
Yeah, right?
Like, no way. But yeah, I mean, it was a really fun experience to, bring that in on the production side and be like, I want to hear this and I want like horns and verse and like stuff like that. And then vocally to, add these characterizations that I have got really good experience with just from growing up and playing around and always playing the character in the show, like the goofy one.
Now, I love that you did start up the EP with Girlie Pop. I feel like that was like the perfect introduction. I love that you closed it with 10 Boyfriends. And I felt like that was just like a nice little package that you gave us. What was the process in kind of figuring out what that track order or track listing was going to be?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to start with Girlie Pop because it felt like here's the entrance into my world. Like, this is Girlie Pop. Like, it's not just like a song about like sapphic love. It's also a song about this subgenre I created. It's a song about like welcome into the music I'm creating as a new artist. Like, the music I make is Girlie Pop.
Yeah.
It's for the girlies. It's for everybody. But it really just, I wanted to kind of bring this like really fun grand entrance into it, which kind of is why we added these really theatrical elements into it. And also we added, the like interlude into Bimbo Nation, which is also like giving a wink to my time online as well.
Your whole life is definitely on this EP. That's what it's like.
My whole life definitely is.
Of everything.
Exactly. And then 10 Boyfriends was just the obvious closer. I mean, that is the, biggest, most fun song to me. And I was like, this is the end. This is the end of Act 2. This is the end of the musical. Like, we've got to like say goodbye with the big number. And, the other one just kind of fell into place. Verse felt just good, like going straight from Girlie Pop into Sugar into Emergency into I'm Really Pretty. Just like, it was really just at the end of it like vibes.
I love that you trust your gut throughout this whole process. I feel like it's hard to sometimes do that when you're trying to do everything in the project or, to make everything be perfect. So I love that you listened to yourself and you still went with it, and it's a masterpiece. So congratulations with Girlie Pop.
Thank you.
Congratulations with the shows that you're doing so far. Now, to close us off, throughout this experience of this EP, whether it's the writing or the recording process, what did you learn about yourself, whether it's vocally, artistically, that you didn't know about before?
Man, I think I learned like kind of what you said earlier just about trusting your gut. I think I learned to just like consistently trust my gut, whether it's vocally, whether it's artistically, whether it's within dance or within the productions that I'm putting on right now. Just whatever like comes to my mind has to be put into the world. And I'm really proud of myself for getting to that, to trusting myself, because that's not an easy thing to do. And a lot of people aren't going to understand it. And a lot of people don't. And like, I don't give,
as long as you're happy,
swear?
you can say whatever you want.
But it just feels good. I just feel like I'm, you know, walking in the footsteps of a lot of my favorite artists. And even with the backlash or even with the people who don't get it now, I just have this gut feeling of like, you'll get it later.
Yeah.
And
it'll happen.
Patience is key with this.
Exactly.
And I'm happy to be here anyway.